And this is Paloma, and I always tell her that I like to eat her like a little chimichanga. She hates me, I give her kisses more than I should, and if you like
my head is stuck in the clouds. She begs me to calm down, says boy.
Hey guys, so my name's Vanessa, and I kind of wanted just to share a couple things with you about how to start off painting with watercolor and a couple things that I use so I can make it a little bit easier. This was kind of like a type of learn situation where I kind of used a couple of things that I didn't like and some things that I very much loved. So here are the things you will need. I will talk about paints to all the way about paper. So let's start off with paints. You can get two types of paint. So you can either get a little palette that has the 8 basic colors, or you can get something that has a ton of colors. So this varies in greens, varies in blues, varies in reds. The only difference between this and this is that this comes solid, like it's solid paint, and then this one is it's just liquidy. So you kind of use it as you go. What my professor said to do is to buy this, or you can buy something much smaller than this, and just kind of squirt a little bit of that paint that I just showed you on the corners. You sit it maybe for a couple hours and it will get dry on you. So you can take this when you travel, and then all you have to do is just add a little bit of water, bring it out, and kind of just paint out here. Use the paint out here instead of using this big thing. And if you want to mix colors, same thing. You kind of get it wet, bring it out here, bring this one, get it wet, bring it out here, and you just kind of mix colors, and you make, you know, different colors. So this is really neat. I tend to just cover it or put my paper that's covered, not just, if I'm using, let's say, something like the thing I'm painting, like my piece of art, I tend to put it here inside a folder and just tend to close it. And then I can take it with me everywhere, and that way it doesn't create a mess, basically. I hope that made sense. And then also the paper. This kind of paper is a lot thicker. So when you do add lots of layers of watercolor, it won't rip on you. If you were to use like regular pieces of paper, it will rip on you eventually. This is why it's important you buy watercolor paper, because as you add on layers of watercolor, it won't rip on you. And I tend to be a little bit impatient sometimes that sometimes I use my blow dryer for my hair on the watercolor paper. I don't recommend that doing all the time because it will eventually rip on you. But let it dry too. Let it naturally dry because it's super important that you do that. Another thing that I do use is like a little bucket. They call me the Easter Bunny because I would carry this everywhere with me. But it's super important too because there's something simple. You know, it doesn't have to be a bucket. I tend to put my brushes back here, sponges here, whatever extra things I have, and then I put water here. Because you're going to need it a lot. You're going to have to dump it out a lot because the water's going to get dirty really easily, and you tend to just dump it out like this. I hold on to the things, and you get new water every single time. The last thing I would recommend you getting is transfer paper. Why? I like to use this. I like to buy the little roll. And what I use this for is because sometimes, honestly, I don't want to draw things. It's so it takes forever for me. I'm not very good at drawing. I will say that. And it takes me forever to draw a face, to draw things in general, and I have to keep erasing and redrawing. So what I like to do to make it easier for you is that I tend to grab this watercolor paper, this transfer paper, put it like this, and then on top of this transfer paper, I put the image that I'm going to paint. So let's say I'm painting a bird, I will put that on top, trace that bird, and then take all that stuff off. All you have is the outline of the bird, and all you have to do is watercolor. It's just color it in basically, or yeah, paint it in. And my phone's ringing again. Sorry. Oops, sorry, I guess my phone started ringing out of nowhere. Somebody was actually calling me. But if you have any questions about anything that I said, about the items that I use, please ask questions. I think asking questions is super important. There's always room for improvement. So if you do have questions, please ask me. I will be soon probably doing a time-lapse video of like how I use these items in a portrait, or mainly in a portrait because what I do from the beginning all the way to the end, so that way you can see a little bit of how the process goes. But yes, please ask me questions. Thank you for listening to me about art because it is a true passion of mine. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful next day, and I hope you're having a wonderful starting of the year. So I will see you in the next video.